Good morning. Today I thought we would have a chat about thankfulness because it's Thanksgiving time. And interestingly, I just saw the most spectacular rainbow. I woke up, went outside, and it was just like the kind that you can see both ends. It was so vibrant and pretty. I tried to take a picture of it for you, but it doesn't show up as beautiful as it really was. But I wanted to offer you different ways of thinking about gratitude. Because I think that this concept has been a bit sort of cheapened in our culture. You know, like when things are on talk shows, for me, it just kind of, it just cheapens it. And I remember this becoming a really big deal a while back. People talk about gratitude journals, and it almost took a tone that could be a little bit scolding to people, like as though they weren't grateful enough or something, and they had to write down the things and really focus. And I have a little bit of pushback on that in my mind because ever since I was a little kid, it was sort of an intrinsic thing for me. Like, I spent a lot of time outside as a kid, and I can just remember being awestruck by the beauty of nature, even as a little kid, like just completely mesmerized by the sky and the trees and every little sensory detail about nature. You know, when you're a kid, it seems like you're immune to weather. Like, you don't care if it's cold or hot, or like as an adult, we're more sensitive to, we feel like we're too cold or we're too hot or something. And it seems like when you're a kid, you don't even register that. You're just so happy to be in the snow or in the, rain or the puddles or whatever it is. And your mom had to be like, come inside, let's change your clothes, you're wet, you're gonna get sick, or whatever. And those things were just so obvious to us as kids. For me, it was so obvious, the beauty around me. And I just felt such I didn't necessarily think in my mind the word gratitude, but it was there. It was there in every fiber of my being, that gratitude that I got to participate in this thing, this amazing thing. And I just experienced it this morning. It wasn't anything I had to try for. It was just there. I didn't have to try to be grateful for it. I don't have to try to be grateful for my tea or my candle or my house or whatever it is. Like, it's just there all the time. And it comes in really handy when in those moments where you're in pain or something and you can just shift your thinking to those things. And you can just think of it maybe as focusing on the things you love in your life instead of maybe you're not grateful enough or something. Do you know what I mean? It's just these things that become sort of pop culture things can kind of feel cheapened when the value of them is so rich and beautiful and sort of godlike or something. Like, it's intrinsic to us. It's part of our nature to be grateful. I think it is. And if it helps to write those things down, good. But you don't have to do that to feel it, to be grateful. You're still grateful enough just because you don't keep a journal about it. You can also shift the thinking to thankful instead of grateful if it blocks you. I know I'm not the only one that feels this way about it. There's this concept I learned recently. I knew I was doing it already. I just didn't put a word to it. It's called glimmers. So if you're having a bad day, or let's just say you are, and I think that people in this world, in our world of wellness or people dealing with health issues, I think we're some of the most grateful people because we know, like, if we're having a good day, we cherish that. Or if we're able to heal, we're so grateful for that. So I don't necessarily, I'm kind of singing to the choir here because I think you all are probably the same way about this stuff. But I've had some messages from people who were having an extra hard time. And for you, like, first of all, I feel you. Like, I get it. I get the struggle in those extra hard times. Totally. It's brutal sometimes. And what you can do to mitigate that, those feelings of hopelessness or just exhaustion, is like the mental exhaustion too that comes with that, is just to focus on the glimmers, right? So glimmers are the little things that are right there around you. It's not the trip to Tahiti. It's not the car. It's not the bigger thing, like those things. I always talk about my tea because it's right here with me all the time. It's the tea. It's the cute mug that your tea's in. It's the fragrance coming from the cup, the heat that warms your hands, the cozy blanket that's right here. It's so soft. It's like your favorite movie that you're watching for the 100th time because you need the comfort. All those little things that you can find from your bed if you have to. Texting a friend and feeling gratitude for them, or it just goes on and on. Go outside and look up at the sky. It's there. It's everywhere. They're everywhere. And sometimes it can be hard to see them or look for them because you are in pain or you are having such a hard time, but just look, they're there and they're really comforting. My thought for you today is just, for one thing, I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for this technology. I'm grateful that there are people who are telling me that sharing my experience helps them in some way. I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful that I was able to turn something horrible into something, where I could connect with you. I'm grateful for my body. And I tell my body that often. Like, I got into this practice a few years ago when I started dealing with some heavy health issues, where I started seeing my body totally different. And I just came to really love my body with all its imperfections. And I think as women especially, men too nowadays, I think probably experience some of this, but I feel like it was mostly directed towards women for a long time. And that's just this need to reach these impossible goals with your body. And it's all like superficial look, it's all surrounding weight and looks and stuff like that, rather than the emphasis on health, which is a new thing. The body positivity movement, I love it. I think it's so great. I think young girls still struggle with these things because I've heard them talk about it, because of social media and stuff, like these impossible standards. And they're, in some ways it's harder now for them because the standards they have, are real people that are using filters and stuff, and it's just impossible. So the shift from thinking of your body in terms of the appearance of your body to the health of your body, just thanking your body for the miracle that it is every day, that you're breathing and that you're functioning and that you're able to walk or whatever. These are things to be so thankful for. And you realize that very quickly when things start going wrong, right? So when I was going through things, I just got in the habit of thanking my body. Like when I'm in the shower or when I wake up or various times of the day, I'll be like, thank you, brain, thank you, eyes, thank you, face, thank you, heart, thank you, hands, thank you. And I just go all through my body thanking it. And I genuinely thank my body, and I'm so grateful. And I no longer care about the imperfections or my weight in terms of looks. I care about it in terms of health, as long as I'm at a healthy weight, which is quite, I was happy 20 pounds higher than I am now. And I don't care about the size. I just want to be healthy. And I don't care about age in terms of how I look. I mean, there are things I don't like. Of course, I'm human. There are things I don't love about it, but I'm just grateful to be older. I'm grateful for every year that I get to age because it's a privilege. I get to be here longer. I don't care about my I don't wear makeup. I don't do any of that stuff because I don't think I have to. And I just don't want to. That's a whole nother conversation. I don't do that because it's not because I don't want to look cute. I think I look cute without it. And I think other people look cute without it. I prefer the way people look when they're not wearing makeup. I just don't like it. And there's a lot of toxic stuff in there. So if you are wearing makeup, you got to make sure you get the stuff that doesn't have that. And that's a whole nother conversation. My point about that is that when you have a total perspective shift about what you are and your organism and your body and what it's there for, I'm not here to look pretty for people. I'm here to experience life. I'm here to enjoy all the sensory things, to grow my soul, to evolve, to love people, to be loved, to connect, to have a spiritual experience. And my body is the vehicle that allows me to do that. And I want to treat my body like the temple that it is. I mean, that sounds so cliche, but I do. To feed it good things, to feed my brain good things too, to give it the movement it needs, the sleep it needs. Years ago, I read something in a book, and it said, if I thought of my body like a dog in cane, as though I were blind, would I treat it differently? Yeah, you'd treat it a lot differently if you did that, wouldn't you? It didn't stick back then, but now I get it, right? In a deeper way. We can be reckless with our bodies. But I think much more and more people are realizing and learning. There's so many things now that I know that people talk about that I didn't have access to before. Like, I wish I had known certain things years ago. I so wish I'd known. I would have saved a lot of time and I would be healthier. But I know now. Now I can make those changes. Now I'm doing all those things and I've been living a really healthy lifestyle. As we learn, we make those changes and we evolve that and we grow that. And I just want to treat my body as good as I can so I can be here as long as I can in good health so that I can evolve as much as I can. And so I'm very thankful that my body's healing. I get to be here another day, that I get to be with you. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for this connection. This Thanksgiving, I have a list a mile long of all the things I'm grateful for. I hope that you are feeling that too. I hope that despite your struggles and whatever you're going through, you can still see all the glimmers and you still can feel grateful for your body, even though it might be struggling, and just love it even harder. Be even more grateful for it. Give it the love it needs and think of it as like your best friend that's doing everything it can for you. Our bodies I don't subscribe to the belief that our bodies are attacking us. That's one thing I don't like about this autoimmune concept. I don't believe our bodies are attacking us. I think our bodies are just trying to help us. And we're going to help our bodies, and then we're going to heal. And we're going to get to stay here longer. Okay, so those are my thoughts for this Thanksgiving season about gratitude. And I'd love for you to share your thoughts with me, what you think about gratitude, what you're the most thankful for, what you're going to do this Thanksgiving. I know a lot of you are not in the US, so you don't do Thanksgiving in your country or whatever, or maybe you do it at a different time. Hi, Canada. But I think no matter where you are, you still practice some form of gratitude. I know you're grateful. I know the people struggling are the most grateful. Okay, so I adore you. I'll see you real soon. Happy healing.